A $185 million mega mansion in LA just hit the market. Home Depot is now offering tiny homes for sale for only 50 grand, and they actually look pretty cool. There's a new trend in LA where entrepreneurs are buying used RVs, parking them on the side of the street, and then renting them out to homeless people. We've got all of that and then some to dive into in today's episode. Let's get into it. In Bel Air, California, a new mega mansion is perched up in the hills for sale. They're asking $185 million. This price point is significant. It makes for the most expensive home in the LA area by far, only behind a beachfront home in Malibu that's asking $195 million. They're calling this new mega mansion La View, which according to Google, La View can mean a lot of things, but I'm guessing that they got the name in reference to the actual view or scenery around the home site. It's an awesome estate-sized property sitting on 2.5 acres with total privacy in just about every direction. And this place is surrounded by other super high-priced homes. You can see here that the one is just 3 doors down. Speaking of the one, I feel like that place is still relevant when any of these other mega mansions come up for sale because the one kind of set the bar for how extravagant a mega mansion can be. I mean, the one was 105,000 square feet. It had 21 bedrooms, 45 bathrooms. It was loaded with amenities, and it was sitting on like 4 acres. This one ultimately sold for $141 million. Compare that to La View at $185 million. This home has just 35,000 square feet. It's got 10 bedrooms, 15 bathrooms, and it's sitting on only 2.5 acres. To be clear, bigger doesn't always mean better with these homes. Let's check out the photos. La View is masterfully done. It has a big 8-bedroom main house that contours to the hillside with a separate 2-bedroom guest house that has a fitness room and a wellness center. There's a long private driveway that takes you up to the place. It features at least 2 swimming pools as far as I can tell. The views look over the city and out to the ocean, and inside has soaring ceilings with a ton of room for guests and for parties. James Harris and David Parnes from the show $1 Million Listing have this listing in partnership with Joyce Ray from Coldwell Banker. It is an incredible property, but the marketing so far seems to be kind of light, so I'm hoping that at some point in the near future we will see someone do a proper tour of this home. Come on, Enes. Make it happen. Home Depot was all over the news this past couple of weeks because somebody discovered that on their website they are offering a what appears to be fully built tiny home for under $50,000. And like I said at the beginning, it actually looks pretty cool. If you go to the Home Depot website, sure enough, they do have the listing right there, $43,832 for a tiny home that looks to be in stock and available for delivery as soon as 1 week out. Then reviewing this little marketing video that they put together, it's pretty tempting to scoop this thing up. It's got 620 square feet. The finishes are modern both inside and out. It looks like a perfect place to buy and just drop on a plot of land somewhere out in the forest or something. Not so fast though. This whole thing sounds too good to be true because, well, it is too good to be true. If you go to the fine print of the listing, you'll see that Home Depot has now made it clear that this kit only includes the steel structure of the house and necessary components to assemble the structure. If you want a fully finished house, you need to buy your own stuff like doors, windows, electrical, plumbing, and finishes, which Home Depot, of course, offers for sale as well. And that's kind of how they get you because they're hooking us with this $43,000 tiny house, but once you get into it, you're gonna end up spending another $43,000 to build the whole thing out, and most of that money will probably be spent at Home Depot. There's a ton of prefab tiny homes that are already available for sale or are in the works, and the going rate on these things usually is closer to $100,000 or even more for a little 500 square foot place. So if you have your heart set on something like this, you do have options, but it's gonna cost you a heck of a lot more than 50 grand. Hey guys, and before we move on to the next news story, just really quick, I wanted to mention that my first time Homebuyer Academy training is just a few weeks away from being finished. I've been working for like 6 months to put this training package together, and it's a training that's meant to help first-time homebuyers buy their first house in 15 super simple to follow steps. If you're a first-time homebuyer, or if you have any friends or family members or clients who are first-time homebuyers, click the link down in the description to add your name to the waiting list. I'm gonna be sending out a specific email to that email list once the training goes live with a special discount code. So if you are interested, you're gonna wanna be notified there instead of just hearing about it on my Instagram or here on the channel. I am super stoked about this training, you guys, because I'm really passionate about getting more people into real estate. And I think the best way to get into real estate is by buying your first house. So if you fall into that bucket, make sure you click that link. let's get back to the news. A mansion was just listed for sale in Indian Creek, which also happens to be one of the most expensive neighborhoods in America. On this one, they're asking $85 million. Indian Creek is located near Miami Beach. It consists of just 41 residential homes and a country club, and some agents refer to this area as America's billionaire bunker. The home that was just listed here is at 12 Indian Creek Island Road. It has 7 bedrooms, 14 bathrooms, about 17,000 square feet of livable space, and it's pretty cool just to see how much these mansions differ from coast to coast. The typical Florida mega mansion looks very different than the typical Bel Air mega mansion. This home has super lush grounds with a grand entrance. It's a large private property sitting on about 2 acres. The inside's got this European traditional style. Of course, it has a nice swimming pool that's looking out to the water. Here's a shot of the kitchen. There's a bar area off one of the seating rooms. Of course, this house comes with a movie theater. It has a library, and check out this huge spiral staircase. It's so crazy to me that a house like this is priced at $85 million. I mean, I'm not trying to be rude or anything, but if this same house was for sale out here in Arizona, most buyers would consider it a teardown. I guess the biggest perk here though is that if you do live in this pocket, you're gonna be neighbors with some very high net worth people. You've got Ivanka Trump and Tom Brady as your neighbors. Back to LA, there is a new trend that has a bunch of people talking. So-called Vanlords are buying RVs and renting them out to homeless people. They say that there's around 4,000 of these RVs parked citywide, and in many cases, they're just parked along main roads for miles at a time. We used to see tents scattered all around LA, which I guess we still do, but this Vanlord thing is something that both entrepreneurs and homeless people are capitalizing on. ABC7 reported a guy named Greg William owns 15 of these RVs that are scattered all over town. He charges tenants between $600 and $800 per month to live in one. These RVs only cost him between $2,000 to $5,000 up front, and he's bringing in as much as $8,000 per month in rental income, so not too bad from a return on investment standpoint. I shared this story the other day on my Instagram, and it got a lot of people talking. Most people thought that these Vanlords are slimy and kind of slumlords for trying to make money off of the homeless, but other people defended what's happening, saying that, hey, people like Greg William are providing homeless people a safer place to live than a tent, so what's wrong with that? I don't know what to say about all this, you guys. This is a weird one, but from my perspective, I kind of feel bad for the people who live in the neighborhoods surrounding where all of these RVs are parked. I mean, it doesn't seem right if you bought a nice place in one of these areas and then you have to drive by 100 RVs to get home every day. Clearly, something needs to happen to address the homelessness problem in LA, but we're not going to solve that here in today's episode, so let's move on. NFL star Patrick Mahomes recently got done remodeling his ranch in Missouri, and it is now for sale for $2.9 million. Let's be honest, it's kind of sad that after the last couple of houses we looked at, $2 million actually sounds kind of cheap. Dirt reported that Mahomes bought this place in 2019 for $1.9 million, right around when he signed that massive $503 million NFL contract. After that, he went through with an extensive $400,000 renovation to get the home to the state that it's in today. This property features 3 bedrooms, 5 bathrooms, and about 4,800 square feet of living space. It's got a nice entry with garage parking for 5 cars. A security gate was added for additional privacy. Inside has a pretty clean finish palette with a ton of natural light. Speaking of natural light, here's the kitchen with a bunch of windows looking out to the trees. It's got a huge master suite as well with carpet, which is not my preference. That master suite has a couple of walk-in closets. The downstairs is this nice little hangout room with a TV on one side, and then this kitchen/bar area on the other side of the room. And last, we've got a lush landscaping package with a pool and a nice little putting green. This house was just listed for sale 5 days ago and is already in a pending status on Zillow, which is pretty impressive for today's market. Must be a hot area. I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. Let me know what you thought of these stories down in the comments. I'll see you next time.